So, the Dalai Lama once, I've just got my notes here in case I go off track a bit, bring me back. So the Dalai Lama, he once said that there's two things that actually make you happy: having true purpose and serving others. And we're definitely in agreement with that. It's just having these two things in your life, just making your life, just these two things, adding these two things will drastically improve the happiness in your life. It's quite an amazing thing. I remember once I used to ask my mum when I was little. I was always a bit of a searcher, looking for the truth and trying to understand, there's got to be more to life. You've probably all thought of that yourselves, yeah? You've all, wondered, there's got to be more. We're just born, we live, and we die. To me, there's got to be more to it than that. And I used to say to my mum, what's the meaning of life? Like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And she goes, oh, well, when you grow up, you'll have children. And I go, but that doesn't make sense, because then I can't tell them what their purpose and meaning is in life. So it's just going to be generation after generation of people asking the same questions and not getting the answers. So, I was always searching after, these answers in life, and nobody could really tell me. And then finally, I came across meditation. I went to a meditation class, and my questions were answered. And so what I'm doing here tonight is just passing on the information that I've received. It's been a wonderful gift that I've been able to apply in my life for the last 26 years, and it truly has made my life so much more fulfilling and so much happier. And I have so much purpose and meaning in my life now that I didn't have before when I was asking those questions that nobody could answer. But the answers are there. If we search, we will find. Seek and we shall find. So we tend to have, what most people do is that they make their lives really busy, yeah? We're so busy in our noisy little world. We're, seeking activities. We're playing computer games. We're constantly scrolling through, our social media accounts and profiles and checking everything out. And we just make ourselves so busy in life that we put a wall up around ourselves. And we don't actually have any time to think about, what is my purpose in life? So it's a really busy world we live in, and this is where meditation is a very wonderful thing, because it gives us time to think and reflect on these big questions in life. It gives us a chance to take time out from our busy world and find answers, seek answers to these questions that make our life that transform our lives. So, getting back to the service now, serving others, which is one of the main things, one of the wonderful things that can enhance happiness in life. They did some really great tests in Switzerland once, and they were wondering, why are people giving? What are the results, and why do some people want to give so much? When in this world we're really brought up to think that the more stuff we get, the happier we're going to become. Yeah, that's the philosophy of the materialistic world is, gathering the stuff and that's going to make you happy. And then wondering, well, why are some people so giving? And so they did all these surveys, and they tested people like physically and emotionally and mentally as well. They did MRIs and all these sort of tests on them, and they found that there was actually a direct correlation between somebody who was more giving and the happiness that they felt in their lives. So somebody who was more giving and more caring and kind towards others were living a much happier life than those who were more self-centered and trying to get stuff for their own enjoyment. So, and one of the reasons for this is because our true nature, our true spiritual nature, is to serve others. You know, it's a part of us to be living a life of kindness and care towards others. So the more we do that, the more kindness we show towards others and the more care and compassion for others, then we are cultivating or reigniting our true nature. It's a part of you, a spiritual part of you, a part of you, the spirit soul, to be kind and compassionate. So by even just practicing these little things in life, they don't have to be huge, just little acts of kindness that you can do for others. Even though they're not inherently spiritual, they are going to awaken that natural tendency of the soul to be giving and caring. And when we are kind to others, then that tends to create or generate more kindness, yeah? If you're kind to someone, then they're more likely to be kind to somebody else because it makes them feel really good, yeah? Does everybody feel good when they're kind to people? When you're really nasty to people, you don't feel so good. You know, if you are kind to somebody, then and it rubs off. It's like you drop a little stone in a pond and the little ripples. It's like a ripple effect, yeah? I was watching these really cool videos. There's this guy, he goes around and he tests the homeless people, you know. And one of them, he went up to the guy and he said, look, I feel sorry for you. The guy was doing it rough on the streets. And so he gave him like $100. And he said, look, here, take this. And he goes, no, I don't want to take all that money. That's a lot of money. He goes, no, please take it. So they hid, he took the money and they hid the camera behind a tree. And so they're spying on this guy. And he went into the liquor store. But it wasn't just a liquor store, it was actually the front part of a department store. And they're going, oh gosh, going in to buy grog, They were a bit disappointed. And he came out after maybe half an hour or an hour, and he brought all these bags out with him, bags of stuff. And they couldn't see what it was, but they were thinking it was all, alcohol. And they watched him walk out, and in this park there were a lot of other homeless people. He wasn't the only one. And in America I think the rates are much higher than they are here. And these are people who are just good people that may be out of work. They don't have a social security system like we do. It's much tougher in America. And he went around to all the homeless people. He bought them food, bags of food. And he just went around and there were families, whole families, and he fed everybody. And he actually didn't have any food for himself. And the guy was amazed. He had to go up to him and goes, look, we just tested you. And he said, we just thought you came out of the liquor store with, bottles of grog. But he said, why did you go and feed those people? And he said, they're doing it really tough. They need help. And so someone who's, and the guy ended up, giving him $500. He goes, look, here, take $500, you really deserve this. And the guy didn't want to take it, but he did, But I think somebody who's actually done it tough themselves and they've been through suffering, they can relate to how other people are feeling and that suffering that they're feeling, and they actually find it really hard to see others suffer, yeah. And there was another story where, another video where a guy was lying on a park bench and he had his backpack as his pillow, and this guy was testing again, it's a different guy this time, and he put $100 under his backpack, and when he woke up he was like, whoa, $100, someone's donated, given it to me, And so he, went into Target and he came out, he bought a sleeping bag and a pillow and a few other bits and pieces, just bare necessities in life. And this guy, he came up to him on the phone, he didn't realise that this was the guy that gave him the money, and he came up to him on the phone, and he's talking to his, wife on the phone, saying, "Oh no, we've got to find the money to help my daughter. She's really sick, and she needs hospitalisation. She needs this medical help, and we don't have any money. What are we going to do?" And this homeless guy's listening, watching this guy and listening to what he's saying, and with that, he just said, "Look, you're doing it rough, aren't you? I can hear about your daughter here." He said, "Just stay here for a minute." So he went back to Target and he took all his bags of stuff back. He returned it all and he came back with the money. And this wasn't even a guy that was homeless. He was well dressed and everything. He was just, doing it hard. There were some difficulties in his life, And he gave him the money. He said, "Here, give this, use this for your daughter's medicine." And, they're really heart-touching stories. And I think, they get lots of views on YouTube because people like to hear those inspirational stories about kindness, And once again, the guy gave him $500 or something. It was a lot of money, and said, "Look here, go buy your sleeping bag and buy something to eat." So it's actually natural for us to be kind and to serve others. It's actually intrinsic to us, the spiritual being. And we, we've become really disconnected from other people in this day and age. In the last 100 years we're living this really materialistic consumerism. It's an experiment on humankind. We're taught that stuff's going to make us happy, and the more stuff we have, if we don't have enough, then you're not unhappy because you haven't got enough of it. You need to get more. So it's called the Age of Consumerism, and it's been like that for about 100 years now, and it's never been known in the history of mankind, this consumerism. And this is what we're brought up with, that we need to we need to get more of everything, and we need to live a self-centered life, And it's while ever we're living this self-centered life, where it's all about me and what I want in life, we're actually never going to find happiness, because you are so far away from your true spiritual nature. So, we've become really disconnected from others, and we need to really find that connection and that compassion to others. And as I said, even though it's not innately a spiritual activity to help others, it is going to reignite that natural spiritual desire to serve others, and with kindness and compassion. And the more we do it, the more it becomes second nature to us, and the happier we become within. Gayatri once, she sent me a transcript of an SBS show that was on, and it was, the happiest people. They did a big survey with quite a few hundred people, maybe thousands. It was quite large, and they came to the conclusion that the happiest people were those who meditate, and the next happiest were those who help others in one way or another. They're more giving type people, they're happier. And on the scale of selfishness to selflessness, the closer you get down this scale to selflessness, the happier your life is going to become. There's no question about it. It's more in tune with your true nature. And if we're living according to our true nature, then happiness is there, because the soul is actually blissfully happy. And the only way we can actually find that happiness is to live according to our true nature. So selflessness is a part of our true nature, whereas selfishness is far away from our true nature. So the further we get away, the more unhappiness we're going to find in our lives. So the main purpose in life is to reconnect with others, but we need to reconnect with the Lord in our heart. And this is the real meaning of yoga, to reconnect in union with the Paramatma, the Lord in the heart, in your heart. Everybody has a form of the Supreme Lord within their heart, sitting beside you, seated within the heart. And it's described in the Vedas, a beautiful description is that there's two birds in the tree. One is you're busily active, trying to, get the fruits of your activities, enjoy in this material world in some way. And the other bird's sitting there next to you, just waiting for you to turn back towards him and to have that beautiful, loving, deep relationship once again that we have forgotten, because we've forgotten that we're even a spiritual being. We've forgotten, that we do have this wonderful relationship with the Paramatma, with the Lord in our heart. So we need to start to reconnect with the Lord within our heart. And then automatically you will start to serve others. It's part of it. It comes with that connection with the Supreme. It's described that it's like watering the roots of a tree. If you water the roots, which is that connection with the Lord in the heart, then automatically the rest of the tree becomes nourished from that water. So, the branches and the leaves and the other living entities. So they're all connected. So the more we, reconnect with the Lord in our heart, the more we will once again reconnect with all others, not just people we like, all others, because we'll see all others as our true brothers and sisters. We're all spiritually related, whether you like it or not. But when you start to have this experience, you will see the person within the body, not just the body. You will see that every person is a spark of life, a living being within, and that we're all related because we all have the common Father, the same common Father. He's the Father of everybody. So we're all spiritually related. And when we see that, then you're not horrible to one person and kind to another. You see everybody on an equal level as our true brothers and sisters. And the way we can actually cultivate this relationship with the Lord within our heart is to chant these mantras. They will once again reawaken that natural love that's already there. It's been there forever. This is another meaning of yoga, is relationship. So, we need to start to reconnect and reawaken that beautiful relationship, that eternal relationship that's already there within our hearts, our heart of hearts. And then you'll find that you'll start to reconnect with absolutely everybody and see everybody as a beautiful spark of God temporarily residing within a body. And it doesn't matter what their body's like, you'll start to see the person within. So we need to, just apply this process on a regular basis, and you'll find that when you reconnect with the Spirit, the Supreme Soul, and with others, then your life really starts to become full of purpose and meaning and happiness, which is what we're all after. We all want to live a purposeful life, and that's how we can do it. So has anybody got any questions? Okay, so I'll hand you back to the strings attached. Some more beautiful kirtan.